snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys! So today I am here to do my graphic novel wrap-up for the month of March 2016. I read quite a few graphic novels and graphic things in March and I really enjoyed some of them, so let's get straight into it. I'm going to go from my least favourite up to my favourite, and you can comment below and let me know if there's any that you are super excited about. The first two that I have on my list are Phonogram Volume 1, which is Rue Britannia, and Phonogram Volume 2, which is The Singles Club. These are both by Kieran Gillen and Jamie McKelvey. Starting with the first volume, this one is in black and white, as you guys can see. It is very similar to their style that they do for The Wicked and the Divine, so you probably will enjoy the art if you enjoy that artwork. But the story was not my thing at all, and the main character was very dislikable, and I didn't enjoy this one very much. I had a lot of issues with it, I didn't connect to it, and I didn't understand a lot of the references because it was before my time. So I had issues with this. I only gave this one a 2 out of 5 stars. It was okay, but definitely nothing more than that, and if the artwork had been bad, it wouldn't have even got the okay rating, so yeah, not one I'd recommend. However, moving on to the second volume, this one is actually in colour, so it's a lot prettier in my opinion, but the artwork is the same like I say. This one follows 7, I think, different characters and their stories all link. It's again set in the same world, but it's a much easier narrative to understand, and even though I didn't connect with the references again, because again they were a bit before my time, there were a few that I did at least know, and I definitely felt like this was a more cohesive storyline, and because we had multiple characters, I enjoyed it more. It was a better read overall. It's not my favourite series by far, but I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. The next one I ended up reading is My Father's Arms Are a Boat. This is by Steen Erik Lund and Oyvind Thorsæter. This one is actually a children's graphic book or illustrated book. It's absolutely tiny, as you can see. The artwork within this is absolutely awesome because it's made out of cutouts, and so you can see that it's like got cutouts of these trees and this little fox character down here who's super cute, and he's like the main character of the story, and it's been photographed, and I just think it's super awesome. This one's actually translated, so some of the words within this just feel a little bit off to me. It didn't feel like it was translated that well, but it is a really beautiful read, and it deals with the theme of loss, and I will do a longer review on this. 3 out of 5 stars as well. The next one I ended up reading was Monstrous issue number 4. This is by Sana Takeda and Marjorie Liu, and you guys know I love Monstrous, and this was no exception. I ended up giving this one a 4 out of 5 stars. I also managed to pick up volume 4 in Fables, March of the Wooden Soldiers by Bill Willingham, Mark Buckingham, Craig Hamilton, and really enjoyed this one. It's probably my favourite one in the series so far, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I also read another single issue, and that is Wraith Born. This is made by the same team who make the Lady Mechanica series, which is Joe Benitez and M.M. Chen, and I really enjoyed this. It's about this crazy demon-slaying monster lady, and it was pretty badass and a pretty great start to the series, so I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Next up, I ended up reading Catzine Volume 4, or issue number 4. This is a tiny ongoing zine, and it's by Catriona Chapman, and I really enjoy these. You've seen them probably on my channel before if you've been around for a while. They're all pencil drawn, and it's got like long text writing on some pages and then comic strip style on other pages, and it's basically a sort of travel journal and just whatever she feels like doing that month, and I really enjoy these. I believe they come out quarterly now, so I'll put the link to her website below if I remember, so you can go and check it out if you want to. I just buy them each time I see them because I think that they are just beautiful, so I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars as well. The next one I ended up reading is The River. This is by Alessandro Sana, and I believe it's translated from Italian, although there's not a lot to translate because it's mostly told through absolutely stunning imagery. You can see from the front cover that it's just beautiful. Some of the artwork is just truly captivating, and I absolutely fell in love with this from page 1. Just the watercolour artwork is absolutely stunning. There's quite a few different colour themes within this, and lots of long panels, which I really enjoy. I'll do a full review talking about this one, but it was just so beautiful. I paid quite a lot of money for it, I think about £18. If you like artwork, you'll like this. If you don't really care for just a silent artwork based story. Maybe not your thing, but for me, I just adored it, and I know this is one I will look back over because it's just so beautiful. And I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. Next up, I read Chew Volume 6 and Chew Volume 7. These are by John Layman and Rob Gilroy. This is such a funny series, very bizarre, very wacky, based around a guy who can basically taste everything associated with the food he eats. So who has touched it, where it has been, the history of the item, all that sort of thing. It's very weird, it's very crazy, but such a fun series. The artwork looks like this. It is absolutely crazy, as I'm sure you'll agree. At the moment we have a killer chicken, or cockerel, who is in the story. It's batty. It's absolutely batty, but in a great way. And I loved both of these, so I gave them both 4 out of 5 stars. Next one on my list is Everything is Teeth by Evie Wyld and Joe Sumner. This is a memoir by Evie Wyld, mostly about her life, where she grew up mostly in the UK, but her childhood was spent in Australia, and she had a fascination with sharks. This is beautifully drawn throughout. Most of it is done in this style, which is kind of over-exaggerated cartoon, but with pastel tones, and I really, really love this style. I thought it was just beautiful, but it is also kind of brutal and kind of bloody in places. If you don't like bloody stuff, you might not enjoy this. The pages with sharks on have the sharks and fish drawn absolutely beautifully. As you can see, they are painted rather than just line drawn like the rest of the illustrations, so it just looks beautiful. Now I'm going to show you one of the really bloody pages, so if you don't like bloody stuff, then possibly skip the next few seconds. This is one of the bloody pages. As you can see, it's pretty gory, so just be warned. If you like gory stuff, you'll be fine with it. If you're not cool with that, you probably aren't going to enjoy this. I did, however, really enjoy this. I thought it was beautiful and really interesting, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next ones on my list are 3 of my favourites for the month, and the first one is The Encyclopedia of Early Earth, which is by Isabel Greenberg. This one I've had for such a long time, and I've been meaning to get to it for ages, and I picked this one up when I was in the middle of A Little Life, because A Little Life was really depressing, and it was making me just think the world was a terrible, horrible place. So I needed something light and fun to sort of cheer me up, and this seemed like the perfect choice, and it so was. It cheered me up immensely. It was beautifully illustrated, and it's just a fantastic story. It's all told in this really cartoon style, kind of tribal inspired, and I love that. It follows the story of 2 characters, a man and a woman. One of them is the man, he is a storyteller, and every few pages we get a new story about the world of early Earth, which kind of takes inspiration from our Earth, but isn't the same at all. As I'm sure you'll agree, the artwork is just incredible, and I really, really loved that. The stories are simple, but they're really quirky. Some of them are based in our own mythology and legend, which I loved, and it's just a fun, really fun series of short stories set in the world of early Earth, and it's also got a little bit of romance, which is kind of nice as well. But if you're looking for something to cheer you up, this definitely did for me, and it got me right out of the mood that A Little Life had put me in, so that was fantastic, and I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next one is The Inflatable Woman, which is by Rachel Ball, and this one is a chunky one. As you can see, it's just a one-off graphic novel. It's not part of a series as far as I know, and it tells the story of Rachel Ball and how she coped with being diagnosed with something she never really wanted, and no one ever wants to hear the words "you have cancer," but she got cancer and she was trying to deal with it, and this is a beautiful, beautifully illustrated sort of representation of how learning she had cancer changed her, and the things she went through, and the emotions and everything that she had to deal with whilst coping with it, essentially, and trying to cope with it. It's beautifully illustrated. It's got black outlines on every page, as you can see, and it's all drawn in pencil drawings. I loved it. It also deals with a long-distance relationship, and one that is over the internet, which is something that I really, really liked as well. And it's all about just this lovely, down-to-earth, realistic lady who is not the skinny representation of a female. She is a realistic woman. She has curves and she's cool with that, which I love. She's just an ordinary woman who unfortunately gets diagnosed with cancer, and then she has to deal with it and process it. And she's just trying to live her life. She's just trying to do day-to-day things, but she can't really get on with it, and things happen, and she does kind of push her emotion away a bit, and you see that all through visual form. and I loved it so much. So this one I gave a 4.5 stars to as well, and I would highly recommend that you guys check this one out if you haven't, because it's so good. It was a bit pricey because I think it only came out either early this year or last year, but it's incredible and I would highly recommend this. It's just a really great interpretation of how she dealt with cancer, and I really loved it. The next one I read and I have on my list is Sunstone Volume 3. This is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It is an erotic lesbian BDSM series written and drawn by a man called Stefan Sejic, and I love it. So it may not be everyone's thing, it's definitely got some rather saucy pages, but the storyline is exquisite and the artwork is also exquisite, and I love the relationship and how this relationship is being portrayed. BDSM gets a bad reputation, and I think this is a very realistic, down-to-earth, non-porn version of BDSM, and I think it's really beautiful. So if you're looking for a good representation of BDSM, this is it. It's fantastic. There's one more volume that I don't have yet and I'm really excited to read, and I am just, yeah, I cannot wait to read it because I know I'm going to love it. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. Those are all of the graphic novels I ended up reading in March. I read quite a few, as I'm sure you'll agree. Let me know down below if there's any series that I mentioned that you have also read or that you are looking to get into. I'd love to hear if you have any recommendations for me of graphic novel series or comic series that you think I would enjoy, or standalones. I particularly like pencil drawn imagery, so that gives you something to go on, and I will chat to you all again soon in another video. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little chat about the